So hello. Welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and also support my small business at latricelimited.com. So did you all hear about the guy who's in prison who stole $11 million from a billionaire? Did we ever hear about this? Because I felt like I only heard about this one time and then it was just like, okay, that's enough. Here you go. Georgia inmate pulls off one of the biggest heists ever from inside a prison as he steals $11 million from a billionaire and buys $4.4 million Atlanta mansion using smuggled in cell phone. Yo, I was reading this and I was like, dang, dude, okay. You got caught because you over here. I'm not condoning any of this, but I was looking, I was like, dang, dude. All right, so I got an article here. I'm gonna read it and give my thoughts and opinions as we go. Georgia gangbanger 31 pulls off biggest heist ever. A Georgia gang inmate serving 14 years for armed robbery allegedly impersonated a billionaire while locked up in a maximum security prison. He stole $11 million, okay, using the cash to buy a mansion in Atlanta. Arthur Lee Codfield Jr. is accused of accessing the account of Sidney Kimmel, whose entertainment company is behind the films such as The Crazy Rich Asians and Moneyball, from inside a Georgia prison. All right, he was using contraband phones as well. Codfield 31 is said to have stolen the identity of the movie mogul, who was worth $1.5 billion, and then moved an 8-figure sum out of his account to purchase a $4.4 million property in Atlanta. The scheme is believed to amount to one of the largest heists ever in the American prison. Okay. At a previous bond hearing, federal prosecutors also said evidence suggested that Codfield stole $2.25 million from an account belonging to Nicole Wertheim, the wife of a Florida billionaire, Herbert Wertheim. Codfield Edridge Bennett, 65, and his daughter, Aliyah Bennett, 27, have all pleaded not guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit big fraud and money laundering. Codfield was able to obtain multiple means of identification for Sidney Kimmel by using a contraband cell phone and subsequently gained access to his account in June 2020. How did he do that? I mean, he must have been really convincing, okay? He impersonated the billionaire on the phone to a customer service representative in order to open a checking account. And that's something I'm like, okay, well, how did you do that? I mean, how did you get all this information? People say, okay, using a cell phone, but how are you doing all this? Okay. And is that customer service representative going to get fired? Because that's a lot of money. With the access to Kimmel's driver's license, a utility bill, and the help of a co-conspirator outside of the prison, he was able to complete the verification process. Wow. How did you get all of that? That's what I want to know. Soon after he purchased 6,106 American Gold Eagle 1-ounce coins for almost $11 million, he was able to hire a private security team to transport the coins via a private plane to Atlanta, June 13, 2020. By July, two Bennetts found a 6-bedroom house in Buckham and offered the owner $4.4 million to purchase their property, giving approximately $720,000 in cash as a down payment. Wow. Wow. All right. And they said that the remaining $3.7 million in cash to the landowner. All right. Yo, this is crazy. Okay. This is, I was reading this. I'm like, this is something in a movie, like this is something that you would have in a freaking movie, because I'm like, yo, this is insane. This is truly insane that he went and took this much money. There were some people who were saying like, yo, clever, if only he was able to put his skills in a more useful, legal way, then nothing would have happened to him, salesman, whatever, right? So, everyone always says that kind of stuff, of course, but I just thought that this was pretty interesting. I'm like, yo, you stole that much, and stolen in 2020, and then it's 2022 that we're finally hearing about this. So if you're a multi-billionaire, 11 million ain't much to you, you know what I mean? Or, 1 point whatever billion is what you're worth. 11 million ain't that much to you. I'm not saying, steal the man's money, of course, but he obviously didn't notice it being gone. It's not like if someone were to have stolen $1,000 out your checking account, you'd be like, who's this? But because this guy, now if you only had $2,000 in your checking account, someone stole 1,000, you'd be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. If you had $11 million in your checking account, someone stole 1,000, you wouldn't even notice. So that's the same thing with this. Dude didn't even notice what was going on. I feel like they probably would not have gotten caught if they didn't buy that house. You know what I mean? But it didn't say when he was planning on getting out. They said that he was serving like 17 years or something, but they didn't say when he was going to be coming out. So I wonder what was going on with that. And these other people that said, oh, I ain't guilty, So, but I just thought this story was pretty interesting, clever. But now you're going to be, serving time for bank fraud and money laundering and whoever else was an accomplice that got all this other information as well. Okay. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And until then.